Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Finally got a churn in the dollar and let the commodities rest a little bit. Um, Looks like we gapped open though on this 5-hour chart. So I was thinking that it's going to keep on going, but it just turned on a dime. So it's a gap and fill, and it's on its way down. Right now, it's at its support level from the previous lows, and like I said, this is a bearish flag. So hopefully we'll get we need to pass this as support line right here, and our last line of support right here, which is our 34. Looking at a daily on Friday, or excuse me, last day of trading last Thursday, we put in a little hanging man, or no, excuse me, a falling star, and today we have that encompassing candle. So another bearish signal. We just have to go past our levels of support. And our last line of support on this is 90, let's call it 95.5 or so. And then we got a little extension bar down here at 95 and 30 cents. So I'm calling bearish also because we didn't reach our natural point of return, so it's double bearish. It could turn around. We got support lines all the way down, but right now, as it seems pretty bearish. On a weekly, you can see that bearish retracement as it broke down its trend line. So let me draw that for you. So we had this line here that it broke down. Alright, so it broke down, bearish retraced, and now it is backing off as it hit that 8 as a resistance. And finally, on a monthly, we're coming up on a monthly close here. See how we close out the month on this dollar. Right now we're below our lines of support, and it's a lookout below 93.5. Let's call it 93.5. So watch out below until probably maybe 89 or 90. I'm going to call it 90. Here's a meeting line right here. So let's call it 90. So it's a $5 drop. It's pretty nasty. Good for gold and silver though. On gold, having a rough time, but we're still consolidating. Not much of a drop if you look at the longer term. As I stated earlier, it was about 1050 to 1280, back to 12, let's call it 1200. So, I mean, in Fibonacci terms, when you put your Fibonacci's on here, I think it's still above that 38 retracement level. So it's definitely still bullish. It's on the upside of momentum on the Fibonacci chart. I wonder if I can, hang on a second. Sorry, I was going to do a Fibonacci retracement. But I can't find it. So if I find it, I'll start doing it. You can see the 50% rule and all this and that. Below 50% of this move would be bearish. Above 50% of that, take the bottom and the high, take 50%. Above 50% is bullish. Below 50% is tending to be bearish. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to draw the thing every time. You just take 50% of the move. Anyways, still looking good on gold. I mean, this reverse head and shoulders is making that right shoulder finally. And don't know if it's going to come down. If it does, then let's keep above 1185 at least. And hopefully we can stay above 1200 for the month. I believe on a monthly, as we come up to a close, we want to stay above our monthly trend, 34 simple moving average. So we're still there. What it's doing is bullish retracing on a monthly chart. So we are going to close above here, and then we're going to move up. That's the way I see it. Silver, like I mentioned before, it still has legs. It opened up this week. It's got, so far, we got a higher low. We got resistance at 1550. Let's see if we can get above 1550 this week, closing out the month at least above 1550. So what do we got? The month is ending on Thursday. So Thursday afternoon, if we can close above 1550, that's awesome on silver. Now, what I was thinking, looking at this thing, here's a reverse head and shoulders, right? And then we got a mini, looks like to me, a mini reverse head and shoulders. So let's see if we can get this thing going this week up. Above 16 is key for breakout. And then, of course, on a monthly, we haven't moved yet. Unlike gold. So you can see clearly 16, the emotional spot on the chart, plus the previous two highs is the break. Usually the next, on these kind of moves, the next high will be taken out easily. So right now we're moving into these previous lows, and as we go forward, I'm thinking either 50% of this candle or have an extension bar into these lows. So let's call it 18, but see if we can get an extension bar on a monthly into previous lows, which is up here, up in the 19 range. It's a pretty good move from 16. Let's see if we can do it. Copper, still looking good on a monthly chart. As we stated earlier, this is reverse head and shoulders. Boom. It's consolidating above our monthly trend. Or excuse me, I think this is the weekly trend. Excuse me. So we got a consolidation over the weekly trend. It's wanting to change trend. Unlike these previous times when it just shot over and then shot back down. You know, shot back over, tried again, shot back over, shot down, shot over, shot down. Here's a big, so you can see this is overdue for a change in trend. And it looks good. It's holding its own on a weekly chart. So it did a bullish retracement, see if we can break. Let's call it 230. Into these previous lows, into these previous lows. So they're at 260 or so. 250, breaking into these previous lows and hitting this 260 right here. See what happens. S&P, looks like it's breaking down. We've got this long extension bar that tried to bearish retrace. Right now I'm looking at this funny situation where the 8 is crossing the downtrend of 13. I think this is gonna snap down. The 8 is going to snap down. So look for a previous low break, 227 and 226, and finally you can watch it let go at 2022 all the way down to 2012. See if we can. That's a 5-hour chart on a weekly, longer term. Looks like 2000 is the support, where it was resistance. Now it's support. So it looks bearish on the daily, and it might have a what we call a bullish retracement as the 8 crosses the 34, but in all fairness, this is missing its point of return on a weekly chart, which for me is double bearish. So look for a downturn, as it didn't reach its natural point of return in making a lower high. It just made a lower high of a lower high. Oops. See here. So maybe we'll get a bounce at 2000, make another lower high of the lower high, and come back down. See what happens. But right now, as the major trend is churning over, the wave is crashing and it's not able to have enough juice to get back up to where it was. Crude is right here. You can just see it right off the bat. It's a 5-hour chart. It's doing a bearish retracement. It's going to fall over. You got to be able to see this every time. Right over the 34, back up to the 34, and it's going to fall. This right here was your best short. Okay, so follow the ball. Over the 34, back to the 34. That's the bearish retracement. That's your best short right there. Boom. You can count on it. Even the 8 was trying to cross over the 13, and watch that 8 snap back and follow that 13 all the way down. Nothing more to say, except that we should just review on the longer terms, I guess. Here's a daily. You can see the exhaustion move right here. You can see the hanging man and the fall over. We got support at 39. Obviously support at 38, which is where the big break was previously. And then we got support here at 36. So on a daily, we got lots of support to fall through, but as the weekly chart, the longer term charts, you can see how bearish, and I mean that's a steep down trend. It hit, and now it's rolling over. So we got support here at 35 and 34 on a weekly, and then that double bottom at 26. So what it did is hit these previous lows, tap these previous lows, and got rejected big time. So this thing's got a lot of work to do. Looks bearish, and as you can tell on a monthly, full picture, there's the final point of no return right here, down into no man's land, where it's only been below there a couple months. It did make a nice double bottom and a retracement, but it looks like it's going to have a hard time on the short-term charts. Here's the Nikkei. I'm pulling this up because it looks like it's having a hard time already. Here's the day. I think that's a daily. No, what was that? Oh, it's a weekly. So weekly looks like we're down from above 17 below. Now we're below 17. Looks like we got support at 16, 16.8, I guess. And then final support here at 16.5. So moving above 17 now, but what is it, the 5-hour chart? It looks like it's rolling over. It's one of these steep lines, right, and a flat top. Where the last time it didn't reach its point of return. So it looks bearish. It even tried to gap up to it, and it filled the gap, and now it's going to run down the gap and fill. Well, let's look at a longer term on this monthly. See what we can come up with. Yeah, there's a bearish retracement on the monthly. See that? And it's being rejected. On a monthly, we'd need to close below 16.8. We can see bounced off support, made a double top, broke down below to 34, and now it went back up to the 34 into resistance, and it should back off from here. Let's look at the yen to the dollar, and you can see the downtrend, the 34 turning over on a weekly, where we had lower high, lower high, lower high, boom, crossed over, bearish retraced, didn't make another lower high, so we have a lower high of a lower high. Sorry, I'm just making this up as I go. So it broke down, bearish retraced, and it backed off, and it looks like consolidation here. We could get a pop into 116. Whether or not it makes its point of return of the lower high, I don't know. But this is a consolidation. And a huge downturn, churned up. Now it's above the 8. Let's just turn to a monthly. Now it's bouncing off the monthly. There you go. We got a consolidation. This could be the half point of the chart too. So look for next month as it breaks down below. We could get here's the previous lows. We could get a bounce to 116, which is 50% of this long candle, and then a breakdown below. Let's just call it 110. I gotta keep remembering that this is an EMA, not a simple moving average, which I'm used to. So let's just call it 110. Break below 110. Here's a meeting line here, though. So staying below 112 would be significant as well. But look for a bounce at 105, as it has this range here between 105 and 100. But it's definitely breaking down and consolidating on its support levels. Let's see, Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, I know it's having problems. The dollar's going to be coming down. What's going to happen to Deutsche Bank? It's hanging in there by its teeth and nails. Last month we had this little hammer. It popped, came all the way back down, and now we got an inverted hammer. So we got one of these topsy-turvy deals coming in. We're just going to have to wait and see how it opens next month. We got resistance here at 23. Let's see what happens. But like it said, it is on its last legs here. It could easily break down. So, I mean, it's right there. These are the 08 lows. Let's just look at Bitcoin just real quick. It's still in that pattern. It hasn't made a move yet. So, looking for Bitcoin to break out of this pattern on a weekly chart. See what happens. There you go. Nice little pennant on a weekly chart. See what happens. My guess is up. And then the euro to the USD. Got another pattern. Let's just take all the way down. See all these whipsaws, right? Start from the top. We have 3 points here. And then we have an opposing view here. Let's look at that. So we've got whipsaws everywhere. Looks like a bullish pattern, right? It's what do you call it? Ascending triangle. From right here. You got wicks, whipsaws. These wicks outside the line are all whipsaws. And then you have a double bottom whipsaw right here. And we're above the 8, the 34, and the 13. And the 13 and the 8 are crossing above. So which is stronger, these two whipsaws or these two whipsaws? What's going to happen? We're going to get a tightening. Right now we're above the 8. So we got price between resistance and the 8. See how tight that thing will get and pop. Dollar will have to come down pretty hard for that to pop. But it looks probable. I think that's it. Watch for the dollar to come down. Watch for gold and silver to move up, as well as copper in the same sense. S&P can do either or of one thing. It needs to come down into support, maybe come back. Crude on the shorter terms are turning over, and it is near no man's land. Longer term on a Nikkei is a bearish retracement, so watch that to come down. Look for the yen to bounce to 116 and then back off, maybe down into the 105 range. Deutsche Bank, same thing. It's in no man's land. Coming into watch out below scenarios. Bitcoin's got a weekly pennant pattern, and the euro looks like a ascending triangle. I think that's right. If that's not right, just correct me. But it's all I know. It's in a pattern, and it's going to be squeezed. And all I'm doing is following the bottom line trend is up. So usually, I mean, it's not that steep. So you got a nice leveled out increase in price as the top resistance will break. That's what I can see. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you guys are doing okay. Had a long weekend. Had some friends come up. We did a lot of drinking. So I kind of disappeared for a while. But back in the game, back to work. Waiting for DNN to break out again. Looks like it caught support a little bit today, as well as a lot of mining stocks. Let me know what's going on out there, and keep commenting, keep tagging. Let me know if you have any questions. See ya.